Wayne Shorter, host of the Eliminator Sports Network, hoping to get you to survive and advance each and every week throughout this 2016 NFL football season. Giving you a recap from last week. Unfortunately, I did the unthinkable, but the Colts, who was my pick last week, was playing Harry Carey, and then finally you figure after 34 seconds left on the clock, they win the game. But the Lions had Matthew Stafford, and in un-Matthew Stafford-like fashion, led the Lions to victory by a score of 39-35. So, unfortunately, I'm out, but I keep playing, so it doesn't matter. You know, you got to keep playing. You got to keep representing no matter what. If you go 0-17, just you show up every week. As Herman Edwards always liked to say, you play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. So we're going to take a look at this week's matchups and also give you the point spreads and who I'm going to take in my pool this week. Now, as I tape this, the Thursday game already played between the Jets and the Bills, which in my rules I don't pick anyway because one is a division game and we know how those go. So whoever picked the Bills, shame on you. But most everybody's going to pick their games from this weekend. So we're going to start off with the first game on the slate. Carolina Panthers, 13.5-point favorites over the 49ers. A lot of you is going to take this game. But Carolina's going to, you want to hold Carolina to the end. This is a gimme. This is the one you say, okay, but you don't have Carolina when you need them. So stay away. If this was like a week 12, week 13, week 14 game, and this was on the schedule, yeah, I'd be jumping all over it. But it's week 2. Carolina will win, but you want them later in the season, so pass. Next game on tap, the Cowboys and the Redskins, one of the all-time favorite rivalries in the NFL. Washington's a 2.5-point favorite over Dallas. You know the rules. Division game, skip it. Just pass. The next one. This is going to be a war. And it's a division battle of the AFC North variety. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 3.5-point favorite. You know the rules. Division game, pass. Next game up. New Orleans Saints, New York Giants. Last year was a defense optional game. I think the final score was like 55-48-9, somewhere in that area. I think Eli threw 7 TDs, Drew Brees threw for 6, and pretty much the defense just put 11 bodies out there, and they just, slinging the ball everywhere. And New Orleans ended up winning the game, but the bottom line is you got 2 bad defenses, so expect another shootout. I pass on this game just because the Giants right now are in a flux, and they can't afford to go 0-2. Now, really, both teams can't afford to go 0-2, but in the Giants' case, they can afford to lose this game because the NFC East is so weak. Let's just put it out there. The Saints, on the other hand, they're not going to win this game. I wouldn't use it as an eliminator for all intents and purposes, but use this game with caution. Just have a few heart attacks along the way. Next game up, Dolphins and Patriots. Once again, a divisional game. Patriots a 6.5-point favorite. They'll cover the spread, but we know division games pass. Strange things happen. A rematch of last year's AFC wildcard weekend. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans. The Texans, this is one of the teams I should have went with last week. And I think I accidentally skipped over it because I wasn't sure if I covered all the games. But the Texans with Brock Osweiler is looking pretty solid right now. The Chiefs with Andy Reid, Alex Smith, Jerry Maclin, and all those young Rough Riders. I'll guarantee you this. It will not be 30-0. The Chiefs will not win 30-0. The Chiefs may win, but it won't be 30-0. That was just an aberration. Using it as an eliminator pick to go with the Texans is highly risky. It's 2 good teams. Just stay away from it. Pass. And my team coming up, and I can't believe this when I saw the line on this. The Ravens is a 7.5-point favorite over Cleveland. Now, granted, this is the type of game, as Raven fans know, that'll bite us. Last year at Cleveland, one of the best Monday night games of the year from 2 teams that weren't going anywhere. which is we all forever known as the kick six or block six. Block, field goal, kick six to win the game in Cleveland. Still brings back great memories. But the Ravens are a 7.5-point favorite over the Browns. Now, the Browns lost RG3 for pretty much the entire year with torn labrum in his shoulder. So, you know how I feel. Division games just pass. Just pass altogether. There's a lot of division games this week. I'm looking through most of the schedule, and there's a whole lot of division games. So you got not a lot to really choose from this week. This one, the return of the LA Rams to the LA Coliseum, the Seattle Seahawks, a 5.5-point favorite over the LA Rams. I know I would say this would be one a lot of people will take with Seattle. The Rams are home. For some reason, they're going to show up. I'm not going to say they're going to win, but they're going to show up. They're not going to show up the way they played in San Fran. If Jared Goff ain't ready by week 4, then this season's going to be a loss anyway. So, and a wasted draft pick. Let's just keep it real. But as far as eliminated purposes go, stay away from it. It's a division game, and we all know strange things happen in division games. Next up on the slate, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals 6.5-point favorite. The Cardinals are going to be some mad boys this week. Carson Palmer kind of took the Patriots lightly, and you should know by now with Belichick or Bill Belichick, they focus on each game. Garoppolo looked pretty daggone good. Threw for, I think threw a couple touchdowns. Looked very solid in the pocket. I'm not saying he's the heir apparent to Tom Brady, but if the Patriots go 4-0 in that stretch, and I know I'm kind of jumping a little bit, could we have a QB controversy in New England? Just food for thought. But let's get back to this game. The Buccaneers and the Cardinals. Cardinals 6.5-point favorite. Cardinals ain't covering. I can't see them cover. Cardinals will win, but if you use them as an eliminator, just prepare for a lot of Pepto-Bismol, a lot of headaches, and a lot of praying. Cardinals will win, but it'll probably be like 3-4. Late field goal, win the game. Here's an intriguing matchup. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who looked very well in their loss to Green Bay, versus the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers are a 2.5-point favorite, who played. I don't know how you blow a 20. I think it was like 27-10, or there was up by like 17 or points going into the fourth quarter against a division rival that you could have put the foot in them early. And even fans in Kansas City, which is supposed to be one of the more rabid fan bases in the NFL, were actually leaving the stadium. Now, as what Buffalo taught you the AFC wildcard game in 1993, when they came back from 35-3, you don't leave the stadium, ever. It's no traffic on I-70 heading east into Kansas, west into Kansas, or east, heading in Missouri, that's going to make you get on the road early. You don't leave the game. And all those fans who left the game missed one of the greatest comebacks in Chiefs history. So, food for thought. If you're a true fan of your team, you stay to the end. On that note, San Diego, 2.5-point favorite. As an eliminator pick, is kind of risky. I'll say it, kind of risky. But that would be believe it or not, I got faith in the Chargers. That would be my number 2 pick. I'll get back to my number 1 pick, who I'm going with this week, in about a good 5-6 minutes. Next up, Colts Broncos. Indianapolis Colts cost me last week. No defense. Andrew Luck. And it kind of upsets you that you put up 35 points and you still lose. 35. I mean, most teams, 35, you win. And you're surviving the next week. But when your defense doesn't show up, it makes things a little hairy and a little bad for you. So I'm a little upset that the Colts knocked me out. And which is ironic, being a Baltimore guy, I should have never took the Colts in the first place. So I got what I deserved. Karma. 5.5 points over the 5.5-point underdog, Denver Broncos. Trevor Siemian looks solid. Very solid, good quarterback. As an eliminator pick, my number 3. I think the Broncos will play very well, go to 2-0, both will win their home games, and keep the train moving and try to keep Paxton Lynch on the sidelines. I like Trevor Siemian. I think he's going to be a very B+ quarterback. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer elite, but remember whose shoes he's filling. He's filling one of the greatest QBs ever to play the game in Peyton Manning. So for Trevor Siemian to even get this team, and I think at the end of the season, Denver Broncos will be sniffing the playoff. They may even get the 6th seed. But we got 15 more weeks to go. Packers, Vikings. Packers 2.5-point favorite over Minnesota. And as you know the rules, division game, skip it. I will actually take the Vikings because they're opening up the U.S. Bank Stadium, which I have seen pictures of it. Pictures do not do it justice. It is one of the more massive facilities I've ever seen a stadium being built. And it's shaped like a Viking ship. So they're going to probably show a lot of pictures of the outside and the fiberglass roof. You can see through it. Teddy Bridgewater out for the year with, and I'm still trying to figure out how do you get in a non-contact drill a dislocated kneecap unless he stepped wrong or did an unfortunate Sean Livingston, being a Clipper fan. I know the Sean Livingston injury was one of the more devastating injuries in sports history, let alone NBA, just sports in general. But, we're wishing Teddy B a safe and healthy recovery so he can get back on the field next year and do what he do. Packers 2.5-point favorite. For some reason, the Vikings is going to win the game. I just got this gut feeling. I think the Vikings will win. They will not embarrass themselves in the opening of their house, and they're going to protect their house. So now the eliminator pick I am going with, ironically this week, is the Titans and the Lions. I am taking the Lions. Their home opener, playing the Titans. The Titans didn't look so good in their loss to Minnesota last week. The defense actually Minnesota's defense actually outscored the Titans. So that's my eliminator pick for the week is the Detroit Lions, who actually beat the Colts last week. So in an ironic twist, you're going to go with the team that knocked you out. But, hey, it's called Survive and Advance for a reason. You got 17 weeks. Some people don't get through week 1. Some people get knocked out week 5. Some people get knocked out week 10. But we're going to keep it moving and keep it going and give you the picks and the solid advice so that you can win your pool and get the cash. And finally, on the Monday night game, the Philadelphia Eagles, EAGLES Eagles, 2.5-point underdogs, the Chicago Bears. Eagles played well with Carson Wentz as their starting quarterback. Now, take it with a grain of salt. Carson Wentz was playing the Cleveland Browns. Enough said. Okay? If he had did this against, say, a Raven defense or a Cardinal defense or Patriot defense, I'd be impressed. He did it against Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't have a defense. They lost RG3 for the year. So, take Carson Wentz with a grain of salt. Did he look good? Absolutely. Did he play well? Absolutely. But now he's going to get a test with a Bear defense that's pretty good. Not in the top 5 defense, but they're like around the 7 to 12 range. So we're going to see what Carson Wentz is all about, especially in his first road game. And he should be enthusiastic because his alma mater, North Dakota State, beat the Iowa Hawkeyes in Iowa City. So Carson Wentz probably going to come out slinging, throwing, what, if my boys can win, I can go into Chicago and whip that behind too. So Carson Wentz, you got some big shoes to kind of show up on Monday night, knowing your alma mater just took out Iowa. So good luck to you. I think you're going to play well. Bears will win. But Carson Wentz is going to put on a show, I think, Monday night. I really, really believe in Carson Wentz. I believe in EDP 445's team wholeheartedly. And Raven Nation, we plan on going to 2-0. Just want to throw in a little shout out. Also, condolences go out to Raven Nation. Lost one of our assistant coaches, long-time assistant coaches. The name escapes me right now. And I'm ashamed that I didn't have it on me. They're going to win it for him. You know, he was 65 years old. I can't think of his name. It just escapes me right now. And I'm sad that I don't have it in front of me. But we're going to do it for him. Clarence Brooks. I think, yeah, Clarence Brooks. Thank you. Clarence Brooks. And we're going to do it for him. So Ravens going to win one for CB. My pick this week is the Detroit Lions as the Eliminator. That I think is that's a solid pick. Titans, you're good. You're up and coming. But Detroit, I'm rolling with you. You knocked me out last week, so you better make up for me this week. So till next week, we're going to do it all over again. Week 3 of the NFL season. And until then, keep looking out for each other and love one another. Peace.